Look at all the people that are here to support you and love you.
Tonight, dozens gathered in downtown Wichita for a candlelight vigil to remember the life of 16-year-old Nex Benedict. The story of the Oklahoma high school student who identified as non-binary has gained national attention after dying just one day after a fight at school. Benedict claimed 3 girls attacked the teen in the school's bathroom. Tonight in Kansas and other states across the country, members of the LGBTQ+ community are rallying, saying Benedict's death was a result of bullying and are speaking out to put an end to discrimination.
Sometimes it takes a tragedy for some other person to decide, okay, that's enough. I've had enough now. I'm going to act. Our hope is that every one of these people that were here tonight will act.
Benedict's official cause of death has not been released. The Owasso Police Department down in Oklahoma said the autopsy did not indicate that Benedict died as a result of injuries that were suffered in that fight.